Dona.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Minister of Agriculture and Land had said a couple of weeks ago in this legislature that the new Land Protection Act 2.0 will be ready for this fall. But I noted yesterday he said that the actual legislation might not be ready for this fall. Can the Minister clarify when this important act will be debated on the floor?
The Honourable Minister of Agriculture and Land.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker, and to the member across. Of course, there has been a few events take place here, Mr. Speaker, and I know the member from Dona is quite aware of the events, the world pandemic, and we were getting ready to start this process, Mr. Speaker, when this all occurred, and Mr. Speaker, and July we were going to kick off, but here we are sitting in the House in July, Mr. Speaker, and we could be here till August. I'm not sure, Mr. Speaker. So I hope to get at this as soon as possible, and it is important, Mr. Speaker, and if we need it done, it was supposed to be a 6-month progress. I consult Islanders, Mr. Speaker. If we got to do it in 3 months, I'll do it in 3 months.
Dona, your first complimentary.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It was actually June 10th that you made this commitment for the fall, so it was after that pandemic. So I appreciate the Minister talking about speeding up the consultations. Yes, you did, in response to the good questions from the member from Kilmere, say that these consultations would happen in July. Can we not start these consultations even if we're in the legislative session here right now?
The Honourable Member from Agriculture and Land.
Mr. Speaker, very good questions and very good topic, Mr. Speaker. There's probably the Lands Protection Act 2.0 is something that I'm going to take great pride in doing, and we're going to do it right, Mr. Speaker. We want to consult with Islanders. We want to consult with all the stakeholders, Mr. Speaker. And if we have to do that in July when I'm sitting in here, and I hope to have some members in here be part of that consultation, Mr. Speaker. If they have to sit and consult in the summer, even with the bubble, Mr. Speaker, we're going to sit in the bubble. Thank you.
Dona, your second supplementary.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I note that the Minister of Transportation started his public consultation last Monday, and they went very, very well online. I would encourage this Minister to do the exact same thing. I know it's a very important thing. I know it's near and dear to you, and I'm proud that you're taking this on, but I do have a number of constituents, a number of farmers, a number of people that are concerned with the land, myself included, that want to start this process. So if there is pieces that we can start information gathering, all this stuff, I don't think we need to reinvent the wheel. We need to have a draft out there so that people can get their teeth into it, they can really focus, especially at this time. I think people are ready for that as we're coming out of COVID. Will the Minister commit to starting this process as soon as possible so that potential we can debate this in the fall?
The Honourable Minister of Agriculture and Land.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I will commit to that. After the sitting today, we'll go to my department and we'll get this off. The website was supposed to be launched yesterday, Mr. Speaker, but unfortunately the IT people were dealing with the online bubble declaration, Mr. Speaker, and of course they did an excellent job because Prince Edward Island is leading the bubble, Mr. Speaker, in the way we are handling it, Mr. Speaker. But to get back to the member from across, it is important. It is important, and we're tired of. Everyone's tired, and we want this Lands Protection Act modernization so we have land protected, Mr. Speaker, on this island for the next 30 years and 30 years after that, Mr. Speaker.
Charlottetown Belvedere.